Guys, my son died. I've been gone for the last 2 weeks grieving. I hope none of you ever go through the loss of a loved one like I have. Toby was a great kid, even with all his disadvantages. His tongue was too long.
Wow, bro! You really his son died. That's messy. Wow, bro! I wasn't the one who did that.
Shout out Anwar. He's a real one, for real. He's always been funny since the Vine days. But I had to share something with this because it is factually fact. Like, as much as we look at skits and stuff, trying to hold in a laughter, it's like the hardest thing to do. It's like your whole body is just like tripping on you. Like, you just can't function, or you can't just look straight or breathe even correctly, because even if you let out an exhale, it could just bust out laughing. So that's when I'm like, it's not even the fact that serious moments, because I know there's some people that be insensitive, that it's not funny to joke about this. Like, obviously it's not funny of what happens to your relative and everything, but it's if you just drop it, like the way of the seriousness of the situation, if you just drop the seriousness of that weight on me immediately, I might laugh. I'm serious, I might laugh. Like, it's just the way you do it. If you just sit there and like you're talking and you just bust out crying, I might laugh, because what the heck, you know, it's crazy, it's random and stuff. And I got a few times to tell y'all where I laughed and where I controlled myself, but it was hard. Now we can go back to 9th grade for me when I was in high school. It was crazy. We were presenting. Everybody knows when you're presenting, if y'all know book reports or whatever you did in English or whatever class you had, you remember, you had those teachers like, okay, class, we're gonna do an oral presentation. And a lot of people immediately who are introverts or just don't really like talking in front of people panic. Everything sets in. Your heart just drops straight to your butt. That's it. No cap. When you hear oral presentation, we're presenting, you're trying to look for a plan B option, because you know most teachers do either you do this presentation or you essay or something. But no, everyone had to present, and that was part of your grade. So it was supposed to be book report and movie. Not book report, well, yeah, book versus movie, basically. So book report, then watching a movie and reporting. So there's this Asian kid that came up. I don't even remember his name. I know his face, but it was like, you could tell he was like one of those introvert type of kids. You guys know, we all had all those quiet kids or strange kids or introverted kids in your class, homies, or not homies, but classmates, and you would just see them like never saying nothing. So you know when they have to present, my goodness. But some would be like some of these smartest kids. Like, they are stupid smart. Like, they apply themselves. Me, I'm smart. Did I apply myself? No, that wasn't the smart thing of me. I never really applied myself like that. I was a class clown, talked a lot. I mean, I talk a lot in this video. I'm a yapper. It's my content. Mind your business, dumb boy. But listen, presenting, we're doing that. I think he's literally the first one to go up, so he sets the tone. Okay, he's talking about, I don't know what his book and movie is, y'all. Don't ask me. That was a good amount of years ago. A great amount of years ago. Yeah, it was a great amount of years ago. Ew. Well, I feel old. But, you know, he's presenting. He's talking. He's like, he just bust out laughing, y'all. And so we all laugh, we know it was a nervous reaction. It was what they call a response or whatever, like trigger response or whatever. You know the terminology. So, you know, he bust out laughing. Okay, we laughing, chuckling a little bit. Then he starts talking again. And then he just bust out crying. And we were just like, oh, because he was talking and he said, and he just did that. I said, oh, he grabs his face, looks down, start crying, and then just like turns to the wall. I remember my homie, and I'm going to shout him out. Shout out D. You're evil. This bro turns around, tears in his eyes of laughing, silent laughter. And I'm looking down, trying like, my gosh, because it just got weird. It got very awkward. Like, he was good, y'all. Like, he was presenting well. He just got a little bit nervous. We laughed. Everyone laughed as a class. Then he just busted out in tears. We was laughing. I was silent laughing for sure. It was like the hardest not to laugh. But for the rest of that class period, it was hard for everybody to present. Since he cried, it actually made everybody, like the energy in the air, we all had that choked up energy. I was like, whoa, that was bad. So he made it bad, but it was serious. It was funny though. Like, I can still look back at it and laugh. I wasn't trying to laugh, but he laughed already, then start crying. That's what I say. If you just bust out crying, I might have to gather myself, because hold on, it was just abrupt. When you just do that and just throw it at me, like, whoa, what do you want me to do? I'm gonna laugh. I'm going to laugh. But that was that time. Now, there was this other time. This I'll do more of a recent time. I'll do more recent time where I controlled myself, but it was extremely hard not to laugh. So, I know they're gonna probably see this. I'm gonna just say I was in a group. Where vulnerability was shared. It was not funny of the vulnerability that was being shared, disclaimer. It was just, the person was sharing, trauma dumping, then just busted out crying again. Y'all, I promise you that was the devil. I don't care what nobody says. That was the devil. Cause I was sitting there and it's just like, she busted out crying and it's everything, when something feels funny, it's like you feel it through your whole body. And I'm sitting there just like, whoa. Like, y'all, it was bad, man. It was bad to the point, y'all, where I was like, dude, I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. Cause like, if I laugh, everybody's going to hate me. Like, I will literally, like, obviously my older sister was there, my older brother in this group. But some of the people, we were new to this group, and we didn't know the other people, anybody else around. So that would have been their first impression of me. I know, it would have been bad. But y'all, I was sitting there for a good 2 to 3 minutes fighting for my life. It was like I was Bob and weaving, like I was Muhammad Ali on the ropes. Just like I was sitting there just head this way, head that way, lean back, lean forward. If I exhaled too hard, I was like, I almost bust out laughing. My sister just literally sees me fighting for my life. Y'all, it was the hardest, like probably 3 minutes of my life. Or it probably was like 5 minutes, who knows? But I was sitting there like, bro, trying to breathe. Like when I tell y'all, holding in laughter like that and trying to hold your breath and trying to breathe properly without just busting out laughing like. And when I finally came to, I was just like, good. I tell him later on after the group ends, I tell my brother and stuff. My oldest brother, my second oldest brother. So he's like, why was it funny? I'm like, that wasn't funny at all. It wasn't funny one bit. He said, so now what if you would have laughed? What would you have to do? I would have to excuse myself forever. I would never come back to that group. Because that would just be like, y'all, it was bad because everybody's faces, somebody busts out crying, everyone reacts different. People were just looking, some people, but sad with the person. And it was bad. Because I told him, I would have laughed. Yeah, he said, what would you do then? I would have to end myself. I would have to delete myself forever. Because, bro, I could understand if people want to fight me after that, all of that. It was the worst time of my life. Because I was like, bro, I don't know what happened. It was just like a big rush of like, boom, like goofiness came over. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to laugh and it was going to be one of them, boo, type of laughs over with. I was fighting for my life. That was the worst time of my life. And that's why I said, trying not to laugh is a skill. Like when something's super funny and you're really trying to just lock in, my goodness. That junk was so hard for me. I was like, yeah, I could understand if nobody likes me after this. And I don't know if it was just, like I said, it's probably my trigger response. I do laugh a lot. Some people, you think I'm playing? It's like, I'm not even laughing because that's funny. It's just like, that's my response. And that's what I don't like when people don't treat responses well. Like, you think everything's a joke. I'm like, some people be like, yeah, I do. Because they thought life was a joke to them. And, But share me some similar experiences. And tag any friends that you can't even be serious with. I have a good amount of friends. Jasir, my boy Ja, cannot be serious with him. Well, no, we can be serious, but in some serious moments, me and him can't be in the same room. Because you would hate us both. For real. I promise you would. That's why I said that day, if he was with me when I was with that group, it would have been over with. We would have never had to come back ever. Like, never showing our face again, ever. But if y'all enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, stay positive, subscribe, be great and blessed, and never stress. If you enjoyed this video, all glory to God. Peace.